So, how on earth are you going to remember all these techniques, all these skills during a panic attack? Not very easy. But there's two useful things: normalizing statements and flashcards. Normalizing statements. Now, I've used the word normalizing here instead of what's usually used, which is coping statements. Because to me, coping means that you're learning something to enable you to cope, so that this terrible thing that's happening to you, you learn these things and you'll be able to cope with it. In this program, you're going beyond coping with something. You're bringing your mind and your body back to normal. Okay, so the statements you're about to learn are actual statements of truth. They're facts. They're not there to help you cope. They're not there to distract you from the panic. They're actually there to remind you of the facts that you're in no actual danger. These are benign, harmless symptoms of fight or flight. So, when you feel your anxiety rising, or you're in the middle of a panic attack, it's very, very difficult to think straight. It's very hard to bring all these things back into your mind. So normalizing statements are short, bullet point reminders of everything you've learned so far. So, for instance, instead of having to go over everything about fight or flight and how adrenaline is released and how our misinterpretation leads to increased adrenaline and so on, sometimes this can all be brought to mind instantly by just saying, it's just adrenaline. So you're in the middle of a panic attack, you want to remember the actual truth about everything. You can shorten it all down by saying, it's just adrenaline. That'll remind you of everything. It'll remind you that it's fight or flight response symptoms and sensations, that when you're adding misinterpretation and catastrophization, you're increasing the adrenaline. So it's just adrenaline. Bring all that back to your mind. So I've given some examples of normalizing statements in the following pages, but it's also a good idea that you make up your own that help you in particular. Target your specific fears and use statements that you feel help the most. Okay. And then you can either memorize them, just keep going over them, practice with them, or write them out on a flashcard, which you're going to look at in a minute. And once you use these a few times, you'll be able to recite them. You'll just know exactly what to remind yourself of. And when you say the statements either out loud or into yourself, try to say them calmly, as if you were talking to your whole body and mind. Remember the test pilot mode? Okay, stepping back, observing, being clinical, observing, not adding emotional fuel to the panic cycle. Okay? So let's look at some of the statements over these pages. Now, page 61 there, I have normalizing statements for before or after feeling panic. So you can also remind yourself of all these things even before you have a panic attack or afterwards. For instance, it's okay if panic happens. It's just anxiety, it's just adrenaline. You're bringing the truth into your mind. No matter how many times I feel this, I'm never in any actual danger. It just feels horrible. If I panic, it'll be a chance to practice my recovery. And that's very true. I'll use my new skills. I'll get through it okay. Because you have in the past. I don't have to be careful with myself. That's a reminder that these are just benign, harmless fight or flight sensations. So you don't have to be careful with yourself, because even if you experience panic, you're still in no actual danger. I can just get on with whatever I need to do. If I panic, I panic. Again, it's reinforcing your new understanding that you're in no actual danger. I can get actually on with whatever I need to do. If I panic, I just panic. Instead of previously what you might have done was, if I panic, I need to get away from whatever I'm doing. I have to focus on it. I have to fix it and sort it out, because your mind's thinking you're in absolutely serious danger. But now you know you're not. So you repeat these things to yourself. I can just get on with whatever I need to do. If I panic, I panic. It's a good reminder. It's just anxiety, just fight or flight sensations. Remind yourself, yeah, these feelings can happen out of the blue. Now I know it's very common. Now I know it happens out of the blue because of previous stresses, whatever, but it builds up, it spills over. Sometimes when there's no actual danger, when I'm not even feeling stress, sometimes I can experience this fight or flight response, and that's when I misinterpret, catastrophize, get caught in the cycle of fear. Another useful normalizing statement: just because I feel these sensations, that doesn't mean I'll always panic. We tend to think that if I'm feeling this now, I'm always going to have this, but that's not true, because the more you learn about panic, the more you lose your fear, the more it'll stop happening. And there's no need to focus on every sensation. So you can remind yourself that before panic or after, because you'll be wondering, what's that feeling? What's that sensation? You don't need to focus on every sensation. It's anxiety. It's just adrenaline. Just let it be. There's no need to catastrophize. And no actual danger. Remind yourself the feelings always pass. So even if I panic, it will pass. Panic's a horrible experience. You're not denying it. But nothing serious has ever actually happened. It was just anxiety. Okay? Can you see that if you say that to yourself, you say that to your whole mind and body, you're starting to adjust your attitude. Normalizing statements during panic. So, maybe something like this. So you're feeling panic, you're getting caught up in the cycle of fear, and you're starting to practice. You're going to introduce your acceptance behavior strategies. So you're going to change how you behave first of all. Then you can bring these statements in. These are just anxiety symptoms, just adrenaline. Quick reminder. Okay, that's reminding you that these are normal feelings of anxiety in an exaggerated form. It can happen out of the blue for no reason. So even during panic, you can say that these are just anxiety symptoms, it's just adrenaline. Remind yourself, it's just adrenaline. No actual danger at all. That's the truth. It's not a denial, it's not resistance, it's not fighting it. It's the truth. I am in no danger at all. Okay? Remind yourself, ironically, my body is actually trying to help me. It's a mistake. I've reacted to these fight or flight sensations. I've sent fear signals through the body. Body's trying to help with more adrenaline, and that's leading to more sensations. It's a mistake. Everything is okay. Let go. Smile. No danger. Okay, that's just a simple one. Sometimes you can't be very logical and clinical, so you just say, everything's okay. Let go. Smile. No danger. Remember the point, stop stirring. So your catastrophizing, your misinterpretation, your resistance, your tensing up, that's stirring more adrenaline. Stop stirring. Why add more fear? Let it settle down. So there's no point adding more fear. This has happened before, it always passes. So why do you keep stirring? If I know that stirring it up now is adding more adrenaline, why do that? Stop. To let it be. Let it happen. As scary as it is. Let go towards it, even just a bit, even just a millimeter. Let go towards it. Because you fight it, you tense against it, you react against it, and you're sending fear signals through the body, more adrenaline. You're just getting yourself caught up in your own cycle of fear. So let go towards it, even just slightly, even if you can, just a bit. Remember, it takes time for it to settle down. It's not going to happen in a second. Even 10 seconds, even a minute sometimes. Don't put a time limit on it. You put a time limit on it, when you reach that time limit, you'll be saying, oh no, it's still here. This is never going to go away. Again, more adrenaline, more sensations. Just say, if it takes all day, I'm in no danger. This is just fight or flight. This will pass. The high level of adrenaline cannot be produced forever. It comes in surges. Okay, your body simply can't remain at that intense level of panic indefinitely. It must die down. Adrenaline has a limit. Okay, you still might feel low level adrenaline, some uneasiness, jitteriness. Okay, but the extreme level will come down. Just a panic cycle, nothing else, no big deal. Change of attitude. Go ahead, do your worst. Alright, again, changing your attitude towards the panic. Instead of going, no, stop, don't, I can't take this, I can't let this happen, there's no way, if I let it happen, I'll get overwhelmed, it'll be too extreme, I won't be able to cope. Change of attitude. You're now realizing by doing that, you're fueling the cycle of fear. So, okay, go ahead, do your worst, go ahead. And you can see that that's releasing the added fuel that you're adding. Just sensations, feel scary, yes, don't deny it. That's all it is. It's my own fear that's keeping this going. Remind yourself, now that you know about panic and the cycles of fear, tell yourself, it's my own fear that's keeping this going. That puts you back in control. Because if it's your own fear that's keeping it going, then your own attitude can change that. And remember, even if you don't change your attitude and if you freak out and you panic even more, you're still in no actual danger. So remember, even these normalizing statements aren't for you to stop the panic. They're just so that you can, shorten the length of time that you're going to experience it. But if you don't, it's okay. You're still in no actual danger. It's fight or flight sensations. Remind yourself it's normal to feel afraid. These sensations are very uncomfortable. Anyone would feel afraid in this situation, feeling these sensations and symptoms. It's understandable. So don't beat yourself up. Don't be thinking you're odd or you're weak. You're not. Who wouldn't be afraid if they were experiencing what you experience? If the adrenaline surges, okay, here it comes again. That's okay. That happens. It comes in waves. Now I know that. Float with it. Let it go up. If it goes up, it'll come down again. Just wait for that to happen. It will come down. And it can go up again. Allow that to happen. It's just a process that's happening in your body. You're not in any actual danger. Sometimes it's not going to just disappear in an instant, so let it happen. I've felt this many times now and nothing happened. Except I felt terrified. It'll be the same again now. Nothing dangerous is about to happen. It's just anxiety. Remind yourself, if you've experienced this many times before, you've had this exact same fear that something catastrophic is about to happen. Did it? It didn't. And it'll be the same now. Remind yourself of that. Change this attitude. Also, this really is a great opportunity to put your new understanding and skills to the test. How else will you really learn to be completely free of these feelings? Free of the fear of the feelings. The more you do this, the less you will fear panic. It makes sense, doesn't it? If you do this, if you put this into practice, if you practice, not misinterpreting, not catastrophizing, see what happens, don't avoid, don't use safety behavior, see what happens. Now that you know you can manage panic in a different way, the more you do this, the more you will lose your fear of panic. And when you lose your fear of panic, it will stop happening. Because it's only being maintained by all these fear cycles. And even if you panic all day, you're still in no danger. It's still just adrenaline. It will pass eventually.